I thought I had time, I thought I had space, I thought I had control. My husband was supposed to be away all weekend. I told myself that over and over. I cheated with my ex while my husband was away, and I never expected him to come home that same night. Before I go any further, please subscribe to this channel if you like real-life relationship stories told honestly. These stories are hard to share, but they matter, and your support helps them reach others who may need to hear them. My name is Laura, I'm 41 years old. I was married for 14 years, and until that night I believed I understood the risks I was taking. I didn't. My husband Mark left on a Friday afternoon for a work trip. He kissed me goodbye like he always did. Nothing felt unusual, no tension, no suspicion, just routine. That routine is what made me reckless. My ex Daniel had been back in my life quietly for months, just messages at first, checking in, remembering old jokes, talking about the past. I told myself it was harmless because it wasn't physical. That was my first lie to myself. Daniel knew exactly when Mark was leaving. I didn't tell him directly, but I didn't stop him from knowing either. When he suggested coming over that evening, I didn't say no. I told myself it was just closure, one conversation, one final talk to put the past to rest. But closure is rarely that simple. When Daniel arrived, it felt familiar in a way that scared me. We talked, we laughed, we drank wine. The house felt different with him in it, lighter, louder, less careful. I crossed lines slowly, convincing myself each step wasn't the final one. By the time I realized how far I'd gone, it was already happening. I remember thinking, Mark is hours away, I have time. I didn't hear the car pull in, I didn't hear the front door at first. I was too focused on the moment I knew I shouldn't be in. When I finally heard footsteps, my heart stopped. The door opened. Mark stood there. His trip had been canceled, he didn't text, he wanted to surprise me. The silence that followed was unbearable. Daniel froze, I froze, Mark didn't yell, he didn't ask questions. He just looked at us like he was trying to understand a language he didn't know. Then he turned around and walked back out. I chased him barefoot, calling his name, apologizing before I even knew what to say. He didn't stop. He left. Daniel was gone minutes later. No goodbye, no explanation, just panic and regret on both sides. I sat alone on the floor, shaking, knowing my life had just split into before and after. Mark didn't come home that night. Or the next. When he finally agreed to talk, it wasn't to argue, it was to confirm what he already knew. I told him everything, not because I wanted to be honest, but because there was nothing left to hide. He listened quietly. That quiet scared me more than anger ever could. He said something I'll never forget. You didn't make one bad decision, he said. You built a plan around it. He was right. I didn't slip. I prepared. I assumed safety because I assumed distance. That hurt him more than the act itself. He told me he kept replaying the moment he kissed me goodbye, wondering if I already knew what I was going to do. I didn't have an answer that made it better. We tried counseling. I hoped time and effort could fix what I broke. I wanted to believe love was stronger than one terrible night. But betrayal doesn't live in the past, it moves into the future. Mark couldn't sleep, he couldn't leave the house without wondering. He couldn't look at me without seeing that moment. One evening, months later, he said, I don't want to live like this. I knew what that meant. He didn't hate me, he didn't want revenge. He just didn't want to become someone suspicious and broken. He filed for divorce. Friends asked how it happened. Some blamed stress, some blamed distance, some blamed temptation. The truth was simpler and uglier. I made a choice thinking there would be no consequences that night. I was wrong. I lost my marriage not because I loved someone else, but because I didn't respect the life I had. Today I live alone, quiet apartment, quiet nights, plenty of space to think about what I threw away. Daniel disappeared from my life completely. Whatever I thought we were chasing wasn't real enough to survive daylight. That's the part no one tells you. The thing you risk everything for rarely stays once everything is gone. If you're watching this and telling yourself you have time, please listen carefully. Time is not protection. Distance is not safety. And secrets don't stay contained. I cheated while my husband was away. I never expected him home that same night. And I learned the hard way that some surprises don't bring joy, only consequences. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts in the comments, and remember, the choices you make in silence are often the loudest ones in the end.